Hi friends, uh, I am Robinson Jayasingh, Assistant Professor, Francis Xavier Engineering College. Welcome to this webinar. Uh, Topics on airplanes and their parts and how airplane flies. So many of you knows airplane. Its another name is aircraft. Most of you doesn't know how the aircraft flies. What are all the parts of the aircraft? What are the control devices of the aircraft? What are the types of aircraft? So in this webinar, all the doubts we will be clarified. So first of all, we are going to see about the types of aircraft. So regarding the types of aircraft, first one is the purpose of military. The military purpose aircrafts are known as fighter aircraft, bomber aircraft, ground attack aircraft, transport aircraft, trainer aircraft, and tanker aircraft. So another one type of military aircraft is helicopter. All of you know helicopter. Helicopter is also used for military purpose. So these are all the aircrafts which are used for military purpose. So then another one aircraft we have already known is passenger aircraft. So the main types of aircrafts are military aircraft and passenger aircraft. So now we are going to see what are all the parts of the aircraft. So regarding the parts of the aircraft, first one is wing. All of you know the wing, that is feather of the aircraft. So that is the wings. The center body of the aircraft is known as fuselage. Then power unit, that is engine. So engine is a power unit which is used to propel the aircraft. That is power unit. Then undercarriage. Undercarriage is known as the landing gears and all other landing devices which are fitted in the bottom of the aircraft. That is known as undercarriage. Then control surfaces. So in our automobiles, we are going to we are controlling the steering effect by using the steering wheel. So likewise, control surfaces are used in the aircraft also. So these type of structures we are going to see one by one. First one is wing. So this is the types of wing in the aircraft. In the figure, the wing is fixed in the lower side of the aircraft. So this is a low wing aircraft. So these two figures, the wings are fitted in the lower part of the aircraft. So this is lower wing aircraft. So in this figure, the wings are fitted in the mid side, that is center side of the aircraft. So this type is known as mid-wing aircraft. Then this image, the wings are placed in the upper side of the aircraft, that is top side of the aircraft. This is known as high wing aircraft. So wings may be fixed in the lower side or center side or upper side of the aircraft. So shape of regarding the shape, the wings will be in the shape of rectangular or tapered or swept wing or delta wing aircraft. Most of the passenger aircrafts, the wings will have the shape of rectangular or tapered. But in the military type of aircrafts, the wings, the shape will be swept wing aircraft or delta wing aircraft, because the aircrafts will have higher speed in the military type of aircraft. So the shape of the wings will have to able to penetrate the air with very speed. So the military types of aircrafts will have swept wing aircraft or delta wing aircraft. Then according to the numbers of wings used in the aircraft, there will have three types. One is monoplane aircraft, that is only one wing is used. Biplane aircraft. parallelly, two types of wings are used. This is a biplane aircraft and triplane aircrafts. One by one, three types of wings are used in the aircraft. This is triplane aircraft. So monoplane aircraft, biplane aircraft, and triplane aircraft according to the number of wings used in the aircraft. Then this is the center body of the aircraft, which will have the passengers will be placed and cockpit, that is pilots will be placed, or the weapons and some payload are fixed in the center body of the aircraft. This center body is known as fuselage. So mainly two types. One is wing. Wings are fitted likewise with the feathers, and the center body of the aircraft is known as fuselage. So fuselage consists of cockpit, passenger cabins, galley, toilets, wardrobe, technical compartment. So these are all the parts in the fuselage, that is center body of the aircraft. So cockpit consists of flight and navigation instruments, controls and windshield. Passenger cabins, we all know passenger cabins, galley, toilet, wardrobe, and technical compartments. Likewise, the technical compartment means the electronics compartment and some control devices compartment, that is technical compartment. So these all the parts are contained in the fuselage. So main types of fuselage are, one is nose. This is the very beginning part of the fuselage, that is nose, and empennage or tail unit. This is the back side of the aircraft, that is empennage or tail plane. Then another one important part of the aircraft is engine, that is also known as power unit. So the engine, according to the engine position, the aircrafts will have, this is single engine aircraft, that is only one engine is provided in the bottom side of the wing. So another one is two types of engines are used. So this one is, so two engines are provided in the bottom side of the wing. So in this image, the two types of engines are provided nearer to the fuselage. So in this last image, two types of engines are fixed at the upper part of the aircraft. So engines may be positioned in the bottom of the wing, or edge of the wings, or nearer to the fuselage or upper position of the aircraft. Then according to the number of engines, this one is single engine because only one engine is fixed in the front portion of the aircraft. In this aircraft, two types of engines are fixed at the either side of the aircraft. So this is a twin engine. In this image, three types of engines are used. Two types of engines are fixed in the wing, and one engine is fixed in the front portion of the fuselage. So this is a triple engine aircraft. In this photo, four engines are used. Four engines are used. Two engines in the each side of the wing. So this is the multiple engine aircraft. So engines may be positioned in the bottom side, top side, or mid side, and also engines may be differed according to the applications. There may be single engine is used, or two engines are used, or three engines or multiple engines are used according to the applications. So normally in the passenger aircraft, two engines widely used in the passenger aircraft. Now we are going to see the types of engines used in the aircraft. This is the piston engine. So piston engines are mostly used in passenger aircraft or very, very low speed aircraft. But normally our passenger aircraft or fighter aircraft, jet engines are used. jet engines or turbofan engines are used in the passenger aircraft or military type of aircraft. Now we are going to see the undercarriage. Undercarriage means the landing gears department. So in this compartment, landing gear will be used for takeoff or landing time. This landing gear will be contracted or extended. So this part is known as undercarriage. So the undercarriage consists of landing gears, shock absorbers, and a number of wheels. Now we are going to see in different parts of the aircraft. So as I told in earlier, this is the center body, this one is wing, this one is a tail plane, and this one is a empennage, that is landing gear. And in this diagram, we can see more type of control devices. One by one, we are going to see the control devices in the aircraft. So these are all the many main types of aircrafts with low wing, delta, high wing, and delta wing. This is a multiple engine type of aircrafts. So this is a twin wing aircraft or a biplane aircraft. This is a delta wing aircraft, which is mainly used for military purpose. Now we are going to see when the aircraft is flying, there are four types of forces are active. First one is weight. So the weight of the aircraft is acting in the downward direction. At the same time, the lift force is acting in the upward direction. And the thrust force, which is used to propel the aircraft, which is acting in the forward direction. To oppose that thrust, the drag, that is forced by the wind, is acting in the backward direction. So there are four types of forces acting on the aircraft during flying: weight, lift, thrust, and drag. So as I told, thrust is a forward force that moves an aircraft forward through space. Drag is the force that resists the airplane from moving forward. It is the friction or air resistance that stops the plane. Fourth one is lift. It is the upward force that keeps an airplane in the air, and also it is caused by the shape of the wing. Fourth one is weight. Due to the gravity force, every object on the earth has weight. So weight is the force that pushes an object downwards. So these are all the four types of forces acting on the aircraft. So now we are going to see what are all the control devices which are used for controlling the aircraft during flying. So first two control devices are flaps and ailerons, which are fixed in the wing of the aircraft. So another two control devices are rudder and elevators, which are used in the tail unit, that is backside of the aircraft. So first one, flap. So flap is mainly used to control the lift of the aircraft during takeoff. To control the takeoff and to provide the lift, flaps will be used, which are fixed in the front side, that is the leading edge of the wing. So leading edge, trailing edge. So front portion of the wing is known as leading edge. Back side of the wing is known as trailing edge. So in the leading edge, the flaps will be fixed, which are used to provide the lift during the takeoff of the aircraft. So second control device is aileron. This aileron is mostly fixed in the back side of the wing, that is trailing edge of the wing. which is used to control the rolling motion of the aircraft. So when the aircraft is flying in very height, some rolling motion will be needed. So to control the rolling motion, rolling movement, these ailerons will be used. Then third control device is a rudder. Rudder is mainly used to control the left and right movement of the aircraft. That is known as yawing movement. So this yawing movement is controlled by the rudder. So these rudders are mainly fixed in the tail plane of the aircraft. So tail plane will have horizontal stabilizer and vertical stabilizer. In the vertical stabilizer, the rudders will be fixed. This is a vertical stabilizer. So this vertical stabilizer, rudders will be fixed. This rudder will control the left and right direction control of the aircraft. So fourth control device is elevator. This elevator is another control device which is used to control the up and down movement of the aircraft. The up and down movement is also known as pitching movement. So this is up and down movement. So when the aircraft is flying in the very high altitude, the up and down movement will be needed. So to provide the up and down movement, these elevators will be used. This elevator is mainly fixed in the tail plane, but it is a horizontal stabilizer. So the elevator is fixed in the horizontal stabilizer, which is used to provide the up and down movement of the aircraft. That is known as pitching movement. So as I told, flaps will be fixed in the leading edge of the aircraft. These flaps will be used for providing the lift. So when the lift is needed, the flap will be extended. When the lift will be minimized, the flap will be contracted, that is compressed. So the flaps, all these control devices will be controlled by the pilot in the cockpit status. So in the cockpit, all the control devices will be controlled by using a wheel or pedals. So as I told in earlier, aileron will be used for controlling the rolling motion, which is fixed in the back side of the wing, that is trailing edge of the wing. So when the rolling movement is needed, the pilot will move the wheels provided in the front portion, that is cockpit. When by using the wheel, the pilot can control the aileron, that is rolling movement. Another one is, as I told, in the control device, that is elevator. The elevator is mainly fixed in the tail plane of the aircraft, that is horizontal stabilizer of the aircraft. So horizontal stabilizer will have the elevator, which is used to control the up and down movement, that is pitching movement of the aircraft. So this control is also controlled by the pilot by using the pedals or wheels. So when the up movement is needed, the pilot will control the elevator by using the forward movement of the wheel, and when the downward movement is needed, the pilot will provide the backwards movement of the wheel. So by using these control movements, the pilot can control the pitching movement, that is up movement and down movement. As I told, the rudder is used to control the left and right side movement of the aircraft. So rudder will indicate it by using the red color, and elevator will be indicated by using blue color. So elevators are fixed in the horizontal stabilizer of the tail unit, and a rudder is placed in the vertical stabilizer in the tail unit. So in this diagram, we can see all the control devices. So rudder, elevator, and aileron, and another one is flap. So aileron is used to control the rolling moment. Rudder is used to control the left and right side movement, that is yawing movement, and elevator is used to control the pitching movement, that is up and down movement. And another one is flap. Flap is used to provide the lift during the takeoff and landing conditions. So finally, speed brakes are also used, fixed in the aircraft, which are used for stopping the aircraft when landed, as they increase the reasonably amount of drag. So this control is also controlled by the pilot. So these are all the control devices and parts of the aircraft, and also the types of the aircraft. That's all. Pause. Now we are going to see how do planes land and take off. So first of all, we are going to see how the aircraft will take off. So during the takeoff conditions, when lined up with the runway, flaps are lowered until about halfway through. So during the long run, the authorization is given for takeoff. At that time, pilot will move the flap at the lower end. So the flap will provide the lift, and the turbines are forced to maximum power. So at that time, the aircraft will take off. So the high pressure air will push the wings in the upward direction. So the aircraft will take off. So as the plane gains speed, the wings will start to produce more and more lift. So after some time, the pilot will rotate the plane by using the elevators. As I told in earlier, the elevator will provide the upward movement of the aircraft. So the more lift is produced during the takeoff. So that during the takeoff condition, the flaps and also elevators are used to provide the lift, and also the engine is forced to provide more power. So the aircraft will take off during the condition. After about 20 seconds from takeoff, the plane will rotate heading towards its destination. That is a rolling moment. So the rolling moment is controlled by using the ailerons, which are provided in the wings. So the rolling moments are provided, then the plane will keep climbing until the reaching a certain altitude. So the turbines are lowered to about 75% of power, and the angle of attack is adjusted in order to achieve the zero lift. So angle of attack means that during the takeoff condition, some angle of lift will be provided by using the flap, elevator, and also aileron. So the takeoff is controlled by using these three control devices, and also more power is developed by using the turbines, which are provided in the engines. Now we are going to see how the landing is controlled in the aircraft. So at the beginning of the descent, the plane is rotated downward by using the elevator, which are provided in the horizontal stabilizer of the aircraft. As I told, elevator is used to control the downward movement by controlling the wheels, which are by pilot in the cockpit. So the landing is provided, and also turbines are lowered to about 50% of the power. That is, power will be minimized during the landing condition, as it descends in lower flaps until they reach their maximum extension. So thus the landing is provided, and also when close to the runway, the landing gear will be extended in the empennage. In this moment, turbines are lowered to minimum power, that is 40% of the power, and the plane is rotated pointing the nose up. In this movement, the speed of the aircraft is so slow that the lift produced is slightly lower than weight. This will cause the plane to start the descending slowly as it approaches the runway. As soon as the plane touches the runway, brakes and speed brakes are applied to stop the airplane quicker. Finally, the airplane taxis to its parking lot. Next. Now we are going to see the engines. So engine is a main power unit which is used to provide the thrust. So now we are going to see about the engines which are used to propel the aircraft. So jet engine is a reaction engine that discharges a fast moving jet which generates thrust by jet propulsion. So thrust is provided accordance with Newton's third law. So this is a Heinkel He 178 aircraft. So in this aircraft, thrust, as I told, thrust is the forward force which is used to propel the aircraft. So now how the thrust is produced by using the engine. So principle of jet engine is based on Newton's second and third law of the motion. Second law states that the rate of change of momentum in any direction is proportional to the force acting in that direction. That is F equal to ma. And also third law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So these two laws will be used for producing the thrust in the engine. So this is the various parts of the engine, jet engine. First one is fan, which is also known as diffuser. The second one is compressor. Third one is combustor, and also known as combustion chamber. And fourth one is turbine. And final part of the engine is nozzle. So these are all the various parts of the engines. So in the engines, first of all, the air will be sucked by the diffuser, and the air is compressed in the compressor. And the compressor is used to increase the pressure of the air. Then the air will enter in the combustion chamber. In the combustion chamber, when the high pressure air is entered, at the same time, the fuel will be sprayed by using the nozzles. So by mixing of air and fuel, the high pressure gases will be produced. So these high pressure gases will be the main source of the power. So this high pressure gases will enter the turbine. In the turbine, the high pressure gases will be expanded. So the high pressure gases will be converted into high speed gases. At the same time, these high pressure gases will be produce the power in the turbine, which is used to propel the compressor and also the fan, because the fan, compressor and turbines are fixed in the same shaft of the engine. Then finally, when the expanded gases will enter the nozzle, the high velocity gases will be produced. That is, pressure energy will be converted into kinetic energy. So high speed gases will be escaped out in the engine. As I told, when the high velocity jet gases will be produce the force in the backward direction by Newton's third law, in the opposite direction, the reaction force is provided, that is thrust force is developed. By using this thrust force, the aircraft will be forwarded in the force in the forward direction by using this thrust. So these are all the various parts of the aircraft. One is fan, then compressor. The compressor will have two parts, that is low pressure compressor and high pressure compressor. Then combustor, that is combustion chamber. Then turbine. Turbine will also have two parts, that is high pressure turbine and low pressure turbine. Finally, exhaust cone, that is nozzle. So as I told, intake part is diffuser, and second part is compressor, and third part is combustion chamber. This combustion chamber will have the fuel nozzles, which are used to spray the nozzle during the combustion. Then fourth part is turbine, and fifth part is nozzle. So now we are going to see each part of the engines one by one. First one is air intake, that is diffuser, which is used to increase the atmospheric air pressure by using this geometrical variation. Then second part is compressor. Compressor will be used to increase the pressure of the air very much. So high pressure air is developed by using this compressor. The type of compressor may be axial flow compressor. Then third part is combustion chamber. In the combustion chamber is a main part of the engine, which will have the nozzles, injectors, and also the combustion chamber will have the fuel nozzles during the combustion stroke. Then fourth part is turbine. Turbine is also have axial flow turbine. So turbine, so before that, a combustion chamber is used to produce the combustion gases by applying the fuel. So when the high pressure air will enter the combustion chamber, at the same time the nozzles will spray the fuel. So during the combustion stroke, the fuel and air will be mixed. So high pressure gases will be produced due to the chemical reaction. So at the start of the engine, the spark plug will produce the spark. So the gases will be produced. Then continuously by using the chemical reaction, the high pressure gases will be produced by mixing the air and fuel. Then the high pressure gases will be entered from the combustion chamber to the turbine. So in the turbine, the high pressure gases will be converted into high velocity gases by the expansion process. At the same time, the high pressure gases will be produced the power in the turbine. This power output will be utilized to drive the compressor and fan. So this is the thermodynamic cycle which is used to control the combustion of the aircraft. That is Brayton cycle. So in the Brayton cycle, we'll have two constant volume process and two constant pressure process. That is, two constant pressure process and two adiabatic process. So the ideal thermodynamic cycle will have isentropic compression process, isobaric heat addition process, isentropic expansion process, and isobaric heat rejection process. That is, when the air will enter the diffuser, that is isentropic compression process. Then in the compressor also, the air will be compressed. So the diffuser and compressor isentropic compression process will be developed. Then heat addition, that is isobaric heat addition process, will be produced during the combustion chamber. So when the high pressure compressed air will enter the combustion chamber, and also the air and fuel are mixed, at that time this process is known as isobaric heat addition process. Then when the high pressure gases will enter the turbine, that is isentropic expansion process, that is achieved in the turbine. that is 3 to 4. Finally, isobaric heat rejection process is provided in the end of the nozzle, that is isobaric heat rejection process. So these 4 processes will have the Brayton cycle. Now we are going to see the types of engines used in the aircraft. First one is turbojet engine. So turbojet engine is mainly used in the passenger aircraft as well as the military aircraft. So turbojet engine will have no propeller, only these 5 types of 5 parts of the aircraft, that is intake, compressor, combustion chamber, turbine and nozzle. So mainly this turbojet engine is called as air breathing jet engine, because the combustion will take place by sucking the atmospheric air for producing the oxygen. So this type of jet engines are also known as air breathing engine. So this is a jet engine. So second one is turbofan engine. So this turbofan engine processing is also similar to the turbojet engine. Turbofan engines are widely used in the passenger aircraft. As we can see, the fans in the in front of the engines. So turbofan engines are widely used in the passenger aircraft. The word turbofan is combination of turbine and fan. So additional to the turbojet engine, the fans are fixed in the turbofan engine. So it is known as turbofan engine. The turbo portion refers to the gas turbine engine, which takes mechanical energy from the combustion, and the fan, ducted fan, that uses the mechanical energy from the gas turbine to accelerate the air rearwards. So in this type of turbofan engine, thrust is produced by using the hot gas, as well as the thrust is produced by the cold air which is passed around the engine, that is the duct of the engine. So this is the turbofan which is provided in front of the engine. So that type of engine is known as turboprop engine. This turboprop engine is widely used in the small aircraft, that is low speed and low altitude aircrafts. So turboprop engine function is also similar to the turbojet engine, but in the difference is the propeller, which are fixed in the front side of the aircraft. So by fixing the propeller, the weight of the engine is maximized. So the more weight is provided in the turboprop engine. So in the turboprop engine, additional to the diffuser, compressor, combustion chamber, turbine and nozzle, the propeller and gearbox is fixed. The purpose of the gearbox is to minimize the speed of the propeller, because the more power will be converted from the turbine to the fan. So in order to reduce the speed of the input speed of the turbine, we will have fixed in the gearbox. So the gearbox can control the speed of the propeller. So turboprop engine is a turbine engine that drives an aircraft propeller. In contrast to the turbojet, the engine's exhaust gases do not contain enough energy to create significant thrust, since almost all of the engine power is used to drive the propeller. So in this turboprop engine, the thrust produced by the engine is sum of the thrust produced by the hot gases and the thrust produced by the propeller. So propeller will be increased the momentum of the air. So this is the example for the turboprop engine. The next engine is ramjet engine. This ramjet engine is mostly used in the fighter aircraft, that is military aircraft. This ramjet engine consists of only three parts: a diffuser, combustion chamber, and nozzle. Because in this ramjet engine, there will be no compressor and turbine, because high speed, that is supersonic speed, air will enter the ramjet. So by using the ram effect, the more pressure will be produced by the diffuser itself. So there is no need of compressor, and also no need of turbine, because the turbine is used to drive the compressor. So there will be no need of compressor and turbine. So ramjet engine is mainly used for fighter aircraft and military aircraft. So these are all the example for the aircrafts which are using the ramjet engines, delta wing aircraft. Finally, turbo shaft engine. This turbo shaft engine is mostly used in helicopter. It is a form of gas turbine which is optimized to produce the shaft power rather than the jet thrust. They are even more similar to turboprops with only minor differences, and a single engine is often sold in the both forms. So turbo shaft engine is mainly used to produce the power in the helicopter. In the turbo shaft engine is also having the diffuser, compressor, combustion chamber, turbine, and nozzle. Additional to that, power shaft is provided, which is used to control the rotor shaft of the helicopter. So mainly turbine engines, jet engines will have more advantages than IC engine, because mechanical energy of jet engine is high as compared to IC engine, and also speed of the jet engine where HP developed is higher than IC engine. But only one demerit is, and also another one merit is ignition and lubrication systems are much simpler in jet engine than IC engine. But demerits is thermal efficiency of the jet engine is low compared to IC engine, and starting of the jet engine is very difficult. And another one, turbine blades need a special cooling system due to high temperature is produced. The applications of jet engines are, as I told, military aircraft, passenger aircraft, mostly the turbo jet engines are used. The industry, they are most prominent in this transport industry, where they are used to propel the aircrafts, boats, and in one of the creations. The first use of the jet engine was to power military aircraft. Then the jet engines were used in the passenger aircrafts also. So this is the latest and fastest jet engine, which is manufactured by the North American X-15. This aircraft has the current world record for the fastest manned aircraft, that is supersonic aircraft. So we have studied what are all the parts of the aircraft, what are all the control devices of the aircraft, how the aircraft will fly, how the aircraft will take off, how the aircraft will land, and also how the aircrafts are propelled by using the engines. What are the types of engines? What are the different parts of the engine? How the thrust is produced in the engine. So we will have more knowledge about the aircraft parts, aircraft engines, and aircraft takeoff and landing. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for patiently watching this video. You can get your certificates by filling the feedback form given in the description, which will be available for 72 hours. If this video is useful, share it with your circle and don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for next webinar. Happy learning!